Yo, welcome back to another episode of Checking In with Brando. And today I got a return guest, my boy, my Brody, Lamelvin. How you doing, my guy?
Bro, how about you?
I'm doing solid, bro. I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it's an easy going morning, pretty solid, man. What you been up to though, man?
Just working on me every day, man. Just right now, I'm trying to get back to doing a bunch of projects like shoes, clothes.
Okay,
Trying to find different ways to market myself. I'm trying to put myself out there now, man. So I'm just been working on that.
okay. That's smooth, man. That's smooth, bro. I've been peeping. You've been back in the gym, bro. With the boxing.
Yeah. So I'm just been working on for a little bit now. Just a little something I'm working with, man. We gonna see what comes up with that. Right now I'm just getting back in the rhythm. I've been doing this. Well, I just started boxing. I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid, so boxing sort of new for me.
Okay.
But it's coming kind of natural to me, so it's pretty fun.
Okay, bro. So how's it going? Like with the training and the fighting also. Like, how's that going?
Um, so with the training, I mean, it reminds me back when we were at track, man. As
Okay.
far as like the conditioning, that conditioning aspect, it's a lot more conditioning than what I really expected. You got to be really in shape for that. Believe it or not. That's pretty much the toughest part about it is the conditioning. Also, just the training, like I said, it comes pretty natural. I learn pretty quickly when it comes to things like that. So it's not hard for me to really pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the conditioning for me, man. That kicks my ass majority of the time. So, but other than that, it's a lot of fun though. It's a lot of fun, especially if you've been doing combat sports for a while. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, bro. I'm happy to hear that you really out here enjoying yourself, man. Living your best life, man. You out there. I see you out there right now. You out there with nature, just chilling, man.
Yeah, you got to soak in the sun, man. A lot of people, well, it ain't much sun right now with clouds covering it up right now. But I just try to get, like you said, get into nature, feel something, feel the breeze.
Yeah.
You know.
Bro, I really feel you with that, man. Cause it's like dog, like last week when it was like crazy hot and the sun was just beaming. No matter of fact, that's probably like 2 weeks ago, but it was just crazy humid, this and that. I said, but let me step outside. Let me soak up this sun, bro. And it was like when I
Right.
was doing that, bro, I just felt like everything I was doing creatively was just flowing just so naturally, bro. Like,
Yeah, like for me, a lot of people, especially like with the whole pandemic situation, when the first quarantine happened, that's kind of when I got the hang of it. I said, man, if I'm gonna be stuck in the house, I might as well make the most of the situation. So that's when I started really going outdoors more. I got back into jogging. I used to jog, especially when we was in high school. I used to be used to doing that. I took a time from that, and then I got back into it, and I realized how important it is, especially us with the melanin in our skin, and to really
yeah.
soak in that sun. I feel energized when I'm out there. I just feel relaxed. I just feel in tune, with the world and its energy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very peaceful, relaxing for me personally. But yeah, I think it's important for people to at least try it. At least try it, see what it's like, get a feel for it. It might not be for everybody. There's other ways to, find your comfort. Whether it's meditation, working out, there's a bunch of different things you can do. Getting outside, getting fresh air is nice and relaxing for me personally.
Bro, that's so real, bro. Cause like, bro, like over the summer, bro, like man, like seeing you, bro. Me and Corey, we've been deciding, like we've been like hitting the track, bro. We've been hitting the hills, bro. We really been getting our cardio in, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Oh yeah. You did tell me. Yeah. That's what's up. You talking about the back of the hill we used to work out on?
Yo.
Oh man. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to get back out there with y'all, man. To reminisce on the old times. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Like we probably go like 3 times a week, but when we go out there, bro, we putting work in for the show. We ain't just lollygagging now.
One of these days when I'm free, I'm gonna have to get up with y'all. Let me know.
Oh, for sure. We gonna lock in again for sure, man.
Yeah. Be like old times again.
That's real spill, man. So like, what's new in the world of Lamelvin, man?
What is new? One thing that's kind of new. I recently got back into the dating scene. That's one thing that's
What?
off top. That's kind of new. I would say. Uh, I would say this. I remember last time we spoke, I was mentioning how I wasn't gonna get any. I wasn't looking to get anything serious as far as dating, which is still true for the most part. But at that time, I was just kind of putting off dating in general, just to get my mental clarity, really focus on me. I was at that time, I was kind of like in a run, just kind of in a standstill, not sure what direction I wanted to take. So I knew dating anybody would be a huge distraction at that point. Right now, I'm sort of getting in the rhythm. So I've been, at my job,
Sorry, my boy blushing. I'm saying my boy blushing.
No, because it's so funny. Because where I work at, it's like the opportunity always presents itself. So it's not like it's easy for me to come by where I work at. People come in all the time. Pretty girls come in all the time. So it's kind of like it ain't been a struggle. It ain't really been a struggle. That's something sort of new for me right now. Just getting back in the dating scene. Like I said, nothing serious. We're just having fun right now, bro. That's one thing that's sort of new. What else been pretty new? I don't know, man. Just like I said, still trying to make moves as far as like I've been making some new connections with people that's in the field that I'm working in. So that's been pretty new. Network. I'm learning how to network more with people, stuff like that. So that's pretty new. Where I work at, I meet people all the time. At my job as an excellent coach, I realized that how much of a people person that I really am, despite me being such an introvert. I always like, especially back in high school.
Yeah.
I always like, man, I'm gonna just be with my guys. And I ain't trying to talk to nobody else and that. But I love meeting new people and building new relationships. It's a lot of fun for me, Obviously you gotta, watch yourself, watch who you spend your time with. That's given, I understand that. But at the same time, it's always fun getting that initial meeting with interaction with somebody, especially if they got good energy, you got good energy. It is good overall. So that's been pretty new, just meeting new people for me. And that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, getting back into the gym and working out on my body and stuff like that, trying to get healthy again. Reading new books, like that's pretty much what's going on for me.
I got you, man. Like with you, like talk about dating, bro. Like I kind of feel like I've been on my Lamelvin, bro. Like I've really just been like locking in on me,
Right.
And it's like with doing that, I feel like things are starting like to really like fall into place, because before, I was in a relationship, like last year and this and that. And it was like things were like me and that individual, we was cool and stuff, but it was like it was like making like other parts of my life like choppy, and it wasn't nothing that I could really like sustain in a way, it wasn't no true consistency. But like since I've been like single, bro, I've really been able to enjoy it and then like even like learn new things about myself. Like I've really just been exploring me.
Right. It's funny what you saying, the whole exploring you, getting, working on you, knowing you. But the moments when I was pursuing relationships, like seriously, and transitioning to, being single, wanting to be single, and then getting back into dating, I realized something, that I'm not really trying to get serious with anybody until I understand here's what I think what a lot of relationships fail at, especially for men, as far as, want to be a leader in your relationship. To be a leader in your relationship with women, you gotta first have something for her to build, be a part of. So in other words, you need to have some sort of purpose in life, or moving toward building some sort of purpose in life. See, when you don't have much going on for yourself, you don't have nothing, you pretty much don't really have a solid role for women in that life. A lot of people, men especially nowadays, is getting relationships just to have that comfort, that companionship, just somebody being there. Yeah. And a lot of the time, I mean, don't get me wrong, those can work. I haven't, they can work, I guess. Sometimes long term, I don't know, but for the most part, I think what a lot of them fail at is that they don't have no role. They don't know particularly what purpose they serve in a relationship. And for me personally, like I said, I'm transitioning, trying to figure out what exactly I want to do how I want to do it, things like that. And for me to have a woman in my life, I want her to have a role, and I can't necessarily give her that if I don't know what necessarily I'm building for my own foundation, my legacy. So I think it's important for me to just take my time as far as any serious commitment, because I honestly don't know exactly what I would need a woman for in my life right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's important for guys to really understand that, I think there's a lot of lack of leadership, despite, men, and there's some truth to it, man, can saying that a lot of women don't know their role and don't want to commit to their role in relationship. Well, you gotta understand too, a lot of men don't know what to give women, and they don't know how to lead a relationship. So I think one way to be a solid leader in your relationship is having a foundation for women to build upon. Being able to give her some sort of role in your life instead of just being there. You get what I'm
saying? Yeah, bro, that is so real, bro. And like how you were saying earlier, like where you work at is like it's always an opportunity for you like to move a certain way with certain females, just off the fact so many women come to your job and this and that, bro. Like let's entertain this and be like, oh, like let's mess around this and that. I'll be wasting both of our time, I'm gonna be wasting her time and mine. I'm gonna be doing us a disservice,
Solid. You're definitely right. You're definitely 100% correct. You're doing yourself and her a disservice by simply just not having anything going for yourself. It's like a void in the relationship. It's like there's nothing for us to work towards. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm learning being single and just dating. Because right now I'm just dating to know what I like in a woman, what I don't like, and learn about myself. What I need to work on. I think women can teach you a lot about yourself, whether you lack certain qualities as far as maybe not the most assertive. You don't know how to really take charge or lead. Like things, it teaches you a lot of qualities you need to work on too. Interacting with different. Also knowing how to, because I think every woman, there's like 4 different personalities.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with that many women, and you kind of learn how to just manage them, basically, how to work with them, so that if you do decide, hey, I want to settle down with this one woman, there's nothing she can't throw at you that's gonna throw you off center. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. I think a lot of guys, I know it's romanticized a lot, but I think a lot of young guys in particular need to just really take their time, just go out there and date. Whether you want to get a relationship or not, just, don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm not saying you got to be out here, going crazy, being with 10, 20, like you don't have to do all that, but just maybe 2 or 3 here and there, just to get a feel for what you like. And if you think you can handle it, go for it. I'm not gonna ever tell a man not to get in a relationship. My personal decision shouldn't necessarily reflect on what you want. But that would just be my advice, just to figure yourself out first, and then figure out what in terms of women, which women that work for you. Don't just don't just settle for the first fish you catch.
That's facts, bro.
Yeah, for real.
It's crazy though. Like I can really speak to that, because like I've been in situations to where like, all right, me and this person, we moved forward in this particular direction, but like I was already talking to her like and a couple other people, but like since me and her like moved towards a certain step, I guess like I could be in a relationship with her, and it's like when you're doing that, it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily doing like, all right, does it make sense,
Right.
Right. And it's like when you do that, that can like, it can cause so many problems, instead of just letting things just flow and flush out naturally,
Yeah, I think it's, especially men and women, they just need to learn how to vet each other properly. People, I know a lot of people. I've even had friends that got in relationships in the first 2 or 3 weeks of knowing a woman. It is like,
oh shit,
yeah, bro, like it's crazy. And I don't really necessarily frown upon. I can't really talk down on it, because I used to be one of those. I used to be like that a long time ago myself, where I'm like, man, I'm really feeling this chick, man. But you gotta understand, like, that's just feelings at that point. It's not necessarily like making decisions. At least for me, when it comes to that, that's not something you should necessarily base your emotions upon. You got to be logically sound about that type of decision, because if you're thinking of the long term, you got to think of the long term effects that might have. You understand? So you got to really sit down and process, like, hey, do I really know this chick? You know, does she give me the things I want? Does she provide what I need from her? Like, you got to really take your time. Like, I don't think, me personally, you can figure that. You can't figure those things out from a person within like the first few months of knowing them. You know, it takes time. Yeah. Man, I mean, maybe even within a year, and maybe then, you know, you gotta, once you get in that, once you make that step, still, you know, take your time. You know, it's just crazy how people move so fast, bro. It's just, that's just never been me.
That's facts, man. That's facts, man. And it's like, bro, like hearing you speak about that, it's like, it's just so true, bro. Like, I've seen it like so many times, bro. It's just like, man, like if you would just been a little bit more patient, you know,
a little bit more patient,
things, like, and patience is a virtue, you know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, that's facts, bro. That's facts. But yeah, I mean, so as far as, so are you like, are you dating now since you've been, you know, you've been single, whatever? Like, are you kind of just like doing you for the most part?
Bro, I'm just focusing on me. I'm not going to even lie. Like, I'm not even trying to like to send nobody off. You feel me? Like, I ain't telling I think I'm ready. Like, I'm not leading nobody on. You know, I'm just keeping it a being. You know, cause like, bro, like I'm not wasting time right now. Like, I don't have the time, or I'm not even in the place to really like, oh, let's focus on us. Let's be me and you and this and that. I'm not in that place right now. I'm still setting up a foundation right now. I can't really, you know.
All right. Okay, so what is being single? What has it taught you so far then?
Bro, I've just learned like things I'm willing to do, you know, and like another thing I was like kind of learning is like sometimes like I was like confused in me being a good person for me like actually loving somebody, you know, because like it wasn't necessarily really love, but it was like I was just trying to be the best person I could be, you know. So like sometimes like those two things used to clash for me in a way, you know.
Right. No, I definitely I definitely feel what you're saying right there, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, bro. And then like another thing, you know, like I learned like I really like I probably spent like when I first became single, I probably spent like the first month and a half, maybe two, like reflecting on a relationship I just got out of, like trying to learn the lessons from it, you know? Like what tools can I take from this and use it to build me up in the future? And like one thing I really took from that was, bro, like me trying to love this individual and this and that taught me how to love myself properly, you know. And that is something like I'm really thankful for. That's something like I probably did. Not probably. It's something I didn't know how to do at first, you know.
I feel that. So I gotta ask you this too, man, because
What up,
I know back in high school we had them days, man, where I wouldn't say we was thirsty, but we wasn't sounding like we used to be, how we are now. We ain't sound like how we are now in terms of dealing with women. So would you say ways ago, but would you say even in your past relationship, your most recent relationship, do you feel like you were in a place of leadership, or you was kind of lacking in your relationship in terms of what you may think a man is supposed to do in a relationship with a woman or dealing with women in general?
Okay. I would say, like on a scale like from 0 to 100, I'd say I was probably about 80. 80. Like I was still in college, you know, so it wasn't like I have like my own crib, you know. Like I have my own whip, but it's like I don't got a full time. I'm in college right now, so it's like I can't even afford to pay rent somewhere if I had to, type you dig, you know.
Yeah, but not even necessarily in like that, in that aspect of like providing a certain lifestyle for women, but just like in terms of your being. Like what I mean is like, did you feel like you were a good leader? Did you feel like outside of what you can provide, did you provide as far as monetarily or like I said, lifestyle, whatever. Did you provide anything as far as like anything that she can learn from? You know, did you teach her things? Were you able to sort of was she able to learn from you based on like the way you carried yourself, the way you
Mm-hmm.
move, like things in that nature? You know.
Yeah. I could say this honestly. I for sure did my best to teach her and help her become the best version of herself. You know, because like I always want like no matter what, like since I was younger, I'll say since like high school, I always wanted to say I want to add value to people. You know,
Right.
cause like especially like being in a relationship, right? Getting in a relationship with somebody, it's like yeah, y'all having sex and this and that, woo woo, but what else like do you have to offer? You know, because like I always thought to myself like this, like if all I have to offer is sex, she could just have use a fucking dildo. She don't necessarily need me. You know? So it's like let me bring something to the table that can like help her in some type of way. And I can honestly say I always did the best I could to help her become the best version of herself.
Yeah, the reason why I asked you that because when I was reflecting on my past dealings, not even necessarily relationship, but just dealings with women in general. Because even when you're like dating a woman, it's somewhat of a relationship in some sort of way. So doesn't necessarily have to be serious. It can be casual, but as far as it's still a courting process. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times where I fell short with a lot of women that I dealt with in the past was just that one, I wasn't necessarily carrying myself in a position of leadership, or at least I would in the beginning for the most part, and then I would fall off.
Okay.
And then I would notice a shift in the women's energy because I always think, damn, like, why they always switching up? I used to think women would just switch up. And really, it's not even that they switching up, or if they are switching up, it's because you switching up. And I realized with the mistakes I was falling short at, I used to be quick to be like, she was just a bad woman, you know, she wasn't who I thought she was, and that. But I had to really think about it. I'm like, is there anything I've done to sort of influence her to act in this way? And I thought about it, I'm like, man, I wasn't as assertive as I was. I allowed her to disrespect me at times, and then it got to a point where it was okay to, she probably thought it was okay to do that. Or like I wasn't teaching anything, I wasn't bringing any value besides going on dates and spending time with her. Like I really thought to myself, like, damn, like I wasn't dealing with women in a position of power. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very important to deal with women in a position of power. And that's not what I was doing at that time. I was just being there, being present. Like I was always taught, you know, for the most part, you know, I was raised by my mom. So I always, you know, thought to always cater to women and put her first. And that's a mistake from what I've learned, because even naturally, subconsciously, women don't want you to do that. You know, women don't even want you to put them first. They may say it, they may compete to be number one on your priority list, but once you put them on that type of pedestal, that's where you start to fall short, because your energy starts to shift as a man. And that's one thing I learned from my dealings and when I feel short was just my energy wasn't there. I didn't have that masculine energy anymore. It was either watered down or just non-existent. You know, I was being too soft, emotional, and not just being a solid individual as a man. So I think it was very important being single for that period of time. And now that I'm back in the dating world, I for the most part am getting better. I've seen the progress that I made, and I'm seeing the benefits from that. So I think it's important that a lot of people, men and women, just to sort of gauge where you are in it can be dating or whatever. Just gauge what you was at in that past moments, and therefore you can prepare for your future or present. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just be able to reflect. Don't be so quick to blame other people for your shortcomings. You know, you gotta learn from the past and really take time to see where you've done things wrong, where you've done things right. Even, you know, you just gotta take time to learn and process.
Bro, that's such a honest reflection. Like hearing you speak, it kind of makes you think about times like I probably let some things slide that I probably should have. That some things I probably could have easily nipped in the bud right then and there. But then like you try to like I'll let it slide just be like off the fact like, oh, like how you say you was raised like with your mother, like it was like same with me, you know? So it's like with that, it's like, okay, I'm always looking at things like, okay, maybe this is not worth talking about right now. But it's like those things that you don't speak about and this and that, like them things don't catch up, you know. And it's better to have those conversations and set your boundaries, male or female, you know,
Yeah,
and
right.
and just go from there, you know, because somebody cross your boundaries that you set, like there's no need for like that. Like you can tell them, but like after that, after they did, it's like okay, cool. But if they keep on, it's like all right, now you allowing it. You saying it's okay, you accept it. So it's not necessarily even a boundary no more, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that applies to anybody, and not even just necessarily women that you dated. Like any woman, any man. I've even had to check my mom a couple of times, bro. Like I deal with my mom in a certain way now because I'm not a child anymore. So it's like I don't allow her to treat me a certain way, like how I used to accept it. Because I'm like, oh, I'm a child. I'm like, but as I gotten older, I'm like, if I want to, like I said, to deal with anybody in position of power, I gotta have my own boundaries. I gotta be firm on my boundaries, and I gotta check anybody who steps on the boundaries. And you don't have to necessarily
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, that's real, bro. You know, cause like man, like I'm just I like right now I'm really just reflecting like on all the times like I'll just really like let things slide. I'm like I know I didn't feel comfortable with some things I know I wasn't okay with, but it's like all right, I would always tell you like let the woman be and this and that, woo woo. You know, and then you know also it's like how you know like in 2017, 2018, they talking about oh like you being too masculine and this and that. You know, like oh
What
like
toxic
you're
masculinity, all
toxic.
that shit.
So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, I ain't trying to be toxic. So, all right, I'm gonna let this slide. Like, you know how, oh, like you can't get each other how she dressed and this and that, woo woo. It's like, well, like this shit really make me feel uncomfortable, this and that, woo woo. But like, fuck, I ain't trying to deal with all the other BS, you know?
Right. But I want to say something now that you mentioned that. I think the term toxic masculinity, and I don't know, have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah, yeah, I
familiar
heard
with him?
him. Yeah.
I was watching the video. Woman was basically asking him how can you solve the problem with toxic masculinity, right? And that term toxic masculinity, I can't say the word. It's so offensive to men, in my opinion. I take it as offensive, right? Because of the
Okay.
fact that what a lot of people deem is toxic now is just a man being a man, and you don't hear people and a lot of people throw the term very loosely, right? You don't hear people saying anything about toxic femininity, this and that. Like, don't know masculinity, in my opinion. Yeah, like for real though, like toxic, like masculinity is its own thing, right? I don't understand how you can put those two words together. It doesn't really make any sense to me. And then when you ask people, like when you put words like that together, it has to come with a definition. Most people, if any, has a clear-cut definition of what that is. But you can define what masculinity is, right?
Yeah.
So if that be the case, if you throw toxic, that can apply to anybody. That's just a toxic individual. You can't throw that on masculinity as a
That's
whole,
facts. Yeah.
especially what men have done. Men have literally built society as what it is. You get what I'm saying? And that's not to discredit for what women have done, but I'm just saying men have put their lives out on the line, whether it be war, building infrastructures. Like it's just like I said, like there's just so many things men have done, and I think when you throw terms like that on top of it, it really it's so disrespectful to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's so disrespectful because a lot of men have worked hard, and a lot of men don't get the recognition that they deserve, right? And a lot of women get praised. And I'm not saying that like a lot of women don't deserve it, but a lot of women nowadays, whether people want to admit it or not, they get praised for the wrong things: promiscuity, like I said, being what's other things? It's a laundry list. But it's just a lot of things that really take away. If we want to talk about toxic femininity, let's talk about the lack of the independent. I don't need a man, or the like I said, women being more promiscuous than they ever been. And like I said, do you I'm not gonna ever tell a person, man or woman, how to live their life. but you gotta understand, like we have to set a certain role for generations to come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It
For
kind of
you
reminds me
to,
of like how like sexuality, right? About how like now
yeah,
is like kids are damn near starting to become like sexualized, you know? When it's like these are
yeah.
kids, so like why are motherfuckers even attempting
Oh,
to even do this? Like, come on now.
bro, I had a party at my ex doing. I had a party full of 13-year-olds, right?
Hmm.
And I split. It was like 10 of them, and I split them up into two teams because in Axstone you play games or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I split them up into two teams, and they come up with team names.
Mhm.
One of the kids named their team BBL. I say what? I say why does a 13-year-old knows about a Brazilian butt lift and said it
Yo,
so loosely to me as
yo,
an adult?
wow,
BBL, and I just go to show
wow.
like the direction we're going to. If we don't start taking leadership, like it's not looking good for our
That's
youth.
crazy, bro.
Like
That's
it was so
crazy.
crazy to me, bro.
Mhm.
And I just like where the kids are at, bro. Like I said, we men need to take back their position and
Mhm.
stop being. A lot of men are weak nowadays, bro. I've had guys come in the cages, man. You know, couples, women walking all over them. I had a party with like 10 people, right? There was
Mhm.
one couple amongst the party, and the man's girl called him a bitch in front of everybody. Right?
Oh,
And when I say the entire
oh,
cage got quiet, bro, but
yeah,
he kind of like brushed it off, like ain't nothing really happened. Dog, like if
man,
that was me,
yeah.
like don't get me wrong, I would have kept my composure, right? I would have did
Mhm.
my best, bro. Trust me, it would have been a
Mhm.
struggle, but I would have did my
Yeah,
best to keep my composure.
yeah.
But best believe, especially like let's say she lived with me or something like that, all
Mhm.
her stuff is gone that day, bro. I
Yeah.
promise you. We're done after that, bro. You don't for you to feel that comfortable to say that in front of me, especially in front of people like that.
Mhm.
Nah, bro. But it's just like where men have gone, bro, is just terrible. And I see it all the time, bro. Like
Bro,
I
that's
see it
crazy,
all the
bro.
time. That is just not even the half of what I've seen from men dealing with women. And women and they wonder why women treat them the way that they do. Is because y'all don't carry yourselves in the way that y'all should. So I don't
See,
really
I ain't
blame
respecting
women anymore.
y'all shit.
Yeah, I don't even blame women why they because in my opinion they should do with the things that they do. They should
Mhm.
do it. Hopefully it'll wake you up. Maybe it'll wake
Mhm.
you up. But a lot of guys so far gone, bro. I don't know.
Man.
I hope every day, but a lot of guys are so far gone, and I understand because I used to be one of those pushover guys, right?
Mhm.
I used to be like that, but man, I mean, it's terrible out here, bro. It's terrible out here, for real.
Bro, I could just imagine like I just hearing it, but like let alone seeing that shit firsthand. I was like, bro, like
Seeing it,
there's
I
just
was
certain things
baffled.
like that shouldn't like certain lines just shouldn't be crossed just out of respect to because I'm never gonna be like I'm never gonna call a female, oh you a hoe, you a whore, you slut, this and that. I ain't gonna never talk to a female like that.
I've
You
never
feel me?
called women out her name like
So
that, bro.
like don't be
Never
like,
done
oh you bitch ass woo woo. Don't do that to me now, because I'm not gonna ever
that.
disrespect you like we grown, you know?
Right, we grown. Don't get me wrong, I might have been thinking at the times, but I ain't finna overtly just say it to you like,
Yeah.
oh, you a bitch. I'm not finna do that because that's uncalled for and that's not
Mm-hmm.
necessary to do that. But
Facts.
man, it's just at the end of the day, it's just a lack of respect. It's a lack of respect for men, for themselves, and for the other gender. You
Man,
know, we just at both sides have to take accountability at the end of the day. I think
that's
that's
true.
what it boils down to. Just taking accountability. But right now and there's things there's certain agendas out here that kind of keep us divided.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for people to look past them because most people are not even aware of what's going on.
That's
So I
facts.
think it
That's
just has to
facts.
be more word being spread out here, bro. But no, I mean, how men and women deal with each other, it all boils down to accountability.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to. We just have to be accountable and be willing to listen to what each other has to say and what our wants and needs from each other. Because men know what women want for the most part, and women in the back of their head they know what men want too. They
Mm-hmm.
just kind of either brush it off or they don't care about it in general.
Yeah.
From what I've been seeing personally. So that's just what's going on out here, bro.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. Like just to fathom that, it really blows my mind.
bro.
It's so crazy, bro.
Not even a half, bro.
Bro, you got some more questions for me? Because I like that question you asked me, bro.
I'm trying to think. I was gonna go back to like, so what was I gonna ask? I don't got nothing yet. Not yet. It was some. I was probably gonna get to it, but I just kind of just forgot it.
Okay.
But now what I did want to say though, as far as being a role model and things like that, for me personally, when I deal with, especially I deal with, I have younger cousins that are like little brothers to me, little sisters. I have, and even my little sister that I have, like I want to be that role model today, so that when I have kids in the near future, I want my kids to admire me and to look up to me and not necessarily idolize me, but be a figure that they would inspire to be. They would want to model after. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be that strong masculine figure. So that's why one thing about being on you got bugs and stuff, bro.
That's fact. That's fact. Yeah.
I know. But no, yeah, I just want them to remind me. So I hold myself accountable every day, bro. I hold myself accountable every day. And I know I'm not perfect. I'm not going to always be perfect.
Yeah.
But I just want to be that figure. So, yeah, that was what I was going to ask. So how important do you think it is for men to step up and start being an example out here?
Well, I think that's so necessary just to push society forward in a way. Like guys, we have to step up and work on being the best versions of ourselves. Even though that isn't an easy thing to do, it's something that must be done. Because if we don't do it, motherfuckers is gonna be complaining about the world they created, And it's like, come on now.
That's crazy. You said the word you created. You know what's so funny about the statement? I came, and I'm very young, and my ideology might I wouldn't say necessarily change, but it might.
Yeah.
It might evolve over time. Get older, but I think personally, the world that you live in, you create in a way. And what I mean by that, like when I'm out in the public, I tend not to be so focused on how the world moves. Like I personally, crazy as it sounds, I question the way that people live is even like the way we're supposed to be living. Is it even natural for us to be? And sometimes,
dive deep into that.
I guess you can make it as well. Us as humans, we made the world that we live in how it is, right? But I think human intellect is a gift, but it's a same time, because not like there's a lot of good that's come out of it, but there's like a lot of bad too, and a lot of very corrupt things too that have came out of it. And like I just question, like, are people living the lives they want to live, or are they just living the lives they've been told to live? And when I thought about that, I was like, man, I just can't see myself being in a position where, like, even being in the workforce, I hate being told what to do, and feel like I'm confined in a box because I can't break out of it and just be free on my own. Like I have to listen to so and so. I have to do what so and so says, and I got to do it their way. Like when I live my life, I'm in my own world. I build my own avatar. I'm working to my mod player in a way. I'm working to build it every day. Just like how back in the 2K days, you getting that VC. I'm getting that VC, and I'm spending them every day, bro. And I think that's very important for people to do that. You got to really question yourself, because a lot of things I used to be like, oh, this is how you're supposed to move. This is what you're supposed to do with your life. A lot of that stuff I was just told that, and I just kind of ran with it, And I say right or wrong to it, but it's just something that boils down to what you want to do with your life. And a lot of people just move through life. They too busy living and don't know how to live.
Yeah, this motherfuckers existing, bro.
Just here. And that's kind of unfortunate because there's so many things that I want to experience in my life, and there's ways to do that. A lot of people think that because they're in a certain situation that they can't break out of it. Granted, I think I'm fortunate because I know there's plenty of people out here that got it way tougher than I do. So I don't never complain about where I'm at in my life. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at, even though I'm far from where I want to be. I think for the most part, there's not. I don't put any limitations on myself. And I've been told I'm very stubborn, but I think my stubbornness that's helped me a lot because I'm always pursue. If I set my mind on something, I always pursue it despite what anybody to say. When I was running track, you know this, man. Like back in track, I was always being told, "No, you ain't finna get no meets. You're not finna run. You're not finna do that. You're not finna do this." And despite hearing all that noise, I just kept going. And I got to give you some credit with that too. You was just always there. You and Will, Corey, just Tyann, we just pushing each other every day. And just eventually got to the point where I finally got my opportunity. The opportunity arose for, and I won a state championship. I just knew what it felt like to be a winner. And I think that it felt very great. And that's a moment I would never forget because it was so important for me because I didn't know where my hard work was going to pay off at. And having that type of experience, it let me know that if you keep putting the work in, you're going to win it. You're going to win at some point. You know, it's not going to be at the pace you want to be at, granted, but I learned to be patient in that regard. And, you know, I just need to, you know, I think people in general just need to just keep pursuing their dreams, their goals. Because a lot of times, Max Kellerman, he made a statement the other day.
What did he say?
He says something on the lines where a lot of your dreams come not necessarily come from the outcome, but in the pursuit, right? And that can mean a couple different things for different people. What I got out of that, from my experience alone, is that you might be pursuing one thing. Like, I want to go to the NBA. Like, you couldn't tell me, Brandon, I was not going to the NBA, bro. I was, you know me, when I was back in the day, I was hooping, bro. But that some way brought me into track. I never in my life thought I would be running track what I'm doing running track for. But you know, lo and behold, I got a lot of opportunities out of it. And like I said, I experienced what it was like to be a winner for the first time in my life. Because I didn't necessarily call myself a loser, but I didn't feel like a winner. You know, how winners move, they move a certain way. You know, they move a certain way. And I never moved in that way. And I was like, man, I just want to be like, you know, the guys who were the star basketball players, star football players, you know, guys like, I'm like, I wonder what it feel like to move like those guys, just with that confidence and that assertiveness, right? And experiencing that, man, it was just very important for me. So, I think that's important for people to just pursue their goals, nonstop, be relentless, and just enjoy the process of what comes out of it. Because you never know what direction life will take you. And believe it or not, you may enjoy what comes out of it. So I think that's very important.
Bro, like hearing you say this got me reflecting like on so many things. But like the first thing you really got me reflecting on is like, bro, like even like with me and Justin like doing a podcast, All America State of Mind, right? Like that wasn't something I thought like, oh, this is something I'm gonna be doing, you know. But then like with us doing a podcast, you know, all right, cool, we got one show and this and that. But it's like now, like I'm branching off and doing other shows also, and like, damn, they got a mini network type shit, you know?
Right. That's what's up.
And then it's like on top of that, like just off of express like my thoughts and shit, like bro, like niggas is writing a book, bro. Like what the fuck? Like come on now. Niggas never thought like, oh this shit, like I want to be a writer, I want to be an author type shit, you know? That was never a goal of mine, but it's just some shit that just happened to unfold, bro.
That's what's up, bro. I feel that. Hey, you know what's funny? I forgot who I was watching. I forgot who it was. It was a content creator I watched. He was talking about, he teaches how to, men to be more masculine and, being a masculine, whatever. He's a good, far as a good fatherly figure. He's somebody I watch. I forgot his name. He's kind of new for me, but he said one thing every do is write a book. And it's funny as you said that. And I'm like, man, write a book. But I really thought about it, man. I'm like, and one thing, at least in my mind right now, I want to write a book about the title of that would probably be somewhere on the lines "A World Without Money," right? And
that shit
for
just
me,
sound on fire, bro. That shit just sound on fire. God, oh my God.
I mean, it's cool now. We'll see what happens when the time comes. But really, what it would be the most realistic depiction of what the world would be ran by, how it would be ran if we didn't use money. And a lot of people are so attached to money, not realizing that all money is at the end of the day is just a tool.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Like, when it really boils down to, do you really care that much about a piece of paper? Like, just imagine if it didn't get you the things that you want in life. Like, a lot of people are just so attached to that, and understanding, like, that's not, like, I envy animals in that way. Animals, like a tiger, for example. He's their solitude creatures. They do what they want. For the most part, they don't have to listen to nobody. They got complete freedom. So I was thinking, well, if we had a world without money, how much freedom would we have? Because in the world we live in now, you got to attain a certain amount of financial status in order to get, financial freedom. And when you achieve that, that's when you can start really moving more within the world. Which, in my opinion, I think that's unfortunate that we have to live that way. In my opinion, personally, I think there's other. I would imagine there's other ways to go by it. And what I think with the whole money situation, I think it does more harm than good, honestly. It kind of separates us, in a way. We got different social classes and things like that. I don't even think that should be a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. But I would try to make it as realistic as possible, how that would look like. Obviously, right now, in the way the world's ran, it would be somewhat fantasy to think that way for most people. But I would try to make it as realistic as possible to where it would make sense. But that's just gonna take with just more life experience for me to really start writing that book down. But I remember you telling me how you got in trouble in class one time for no reason. Basically, because you told, I think Miss Valeria, Miss V.
Yup, that's her. Yup.
You told her, what'd you say? You said something along the lines you would, like, get rid of money or something. You said she had some.
She was like, she asked some shit like, if you could get, like, rid of something or anything like that help the world. So she asked, like, something along the lines, and I was like, money. Then she thought I was just, like, trying to be like a smart aleck and this and that, trying to be a class clown. But I was like, nah, like, I'm like, for real. I started listing off, like, the problems that come with having money, even in the pursuit of trying to get money, And then she threw a whole, like, bitch fit and all that type of shit, So yeah.
But that's facts, though. I don't even see how you can get mad at that. That's facts. That's facts. A lot of people don't think like that, but that's a lot of facts. A lot of people do bad things for money.
Yeah.
I imagine if we didn't have that, what would the world look like? Would it be a better place? You gotta ask yourself, like, would it actually be better? Who knows? But I just personally think that, at least for me, how I see money, I just see it as a tool. I don't really care for it. I don't necessarily. Only reason I want millions and things of that nature is just to be able not necessarily have freedom for myself, but for my family and things like that. They don't have to worry about bills and things like that. They don't have to stress. I think money builds a lot of stress on people, and you just take that out of the equation. It builds a lot of freedom for most people. Think about it. That's what most people are fighting for nowadays, is to get some money.
That's true.
They too busy living their lives trying to get the money and not really just living their lives, you know?
Yeah. Bro, and it's like another thing that got me reflecting on something you said, like how like you never really felt like you didn't necessarily feel like a loser, but you didn't feel like a winner, bro. It's kind of like how like I got to think about like how high school we lived the lifestyle, but we didn't have the mindset. You know, like yeah, we was putting in extra work. You know, yes, we was grinding, giving things our all, but we didn't necessarily have the mindset to be like, I believe myself. Like yeah, we're gonna achieve this. We're gonna get this done. You know. But we had like the work ethic to be like, oh, let's just keep on training, let's keep on working, this and that, you know?
That's factual. Like I said, that whole experience taught me a lot, and I would never forget that. I would never forget that. I damn near cried thinking about that one time, bro. Because it's like I really reflected on my life. Like literally, Brandon, my whole life, I never felt like that confidence. And I used to envy people that I grew up with that just walked around, whether they was faking it or not. Like they just carried themselves in a way that I'm like, man, I wish I can do that. And I used to, see how people will react to them, man. Like how they, those guys would get all the girls, they would have all the friends, they would be invited places, this and that. I'm like, man, it's like, and I'm like, I'm a cool individual, like I'm friendly. I have, for the most part, I didn't think there was any reason for people to dislike me.
Yeah.
But it just boiled down to who I was as a person, Was I a person that people even wanted to be around, I just, like I said, never felt like necessarily a loser because I never talked down on myself personally, but I just never felt like a winner.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily have to, I don't think I necessarily needed to win a championship or this and that to feel that way. But that experience taught me something. It taught me a lot. Even at that time, I was just so attached to the outcome that I'm thinking, all right, I gotta keep doing this just to feel this way. But at that point, I was just doing it for other people. I wasn't doing it for myself. When I reflect on it, I know like, okay, if I can do it that time, I can feel this way all the time.
Yeah.
I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing, keep grinding and achieving. I think ultimately it's not about necessarily like I'm a competitive, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to compete with nobody when it comes to living life.
Yeah.
I think the only person I like to compete with is myself. I love it. I love it when I feel like I'm getting better at something.
Yeah.
I'm better than when I was yesterday or a month ago or a year ago. Like I'm making progress. That's when I feel like I'm a winner. I feel like I get frustrated so much. I damn near punch holes in the wall sometimes because I get so frustrated when I reflect. And I'm like, I haven't done nothing within the last couple of months to grow. And that's so frustrating to me. Not growing is so frustrating to me. Yeah. I there's not many things in this world that get me upset, but myself. Like I think I'm my own biggest enemy because I know I can do better. But when I don't, I get so frustrated. So frustrated.
Okay. I hear you, man. I hear you. Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, like something that really like I ain't gonna lie, this almost made me cry like the other day. Is like I was thinking about and seeing like how like we've all grown as people and as athletes and this and that, like seeing how you've grown, seeing how Will has grown, seeing how Corey and Tyann has grown, like that shit, like it be hitting me, bro. Like damn, like we really all doing our own little thing in our own little way, but like we really doing it though. Ain't like on some corny like weak shit. Like no, like we legit doing it, bro. Like what? Come on now, like that is dope. Like seeing everybody's growth, bro. Like yeah, we out here now,
That's facts, bro. Yeah, I just want us to all be proud of not only of each other but ourselves at the end of the day. I think that's my ultimate goal is to look back on my life and just be like, man, I'm proud of what I've done, and I think that's very important to achieve that. Like
he hit me right here, boy. He hit me right here.
It gets deep like that, though. It gets deep like that. A lot of people don't think about these type of things, man. I mean, I really just sit down sometimes, man. I just be thinking all day. Like I just all day about just life and what it's really about. And hear so many different definitions and so many things that you're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, it's like, what do I want to do? You know, what do I really want to do? That's what it really comes down to. Am I living my life for other people, or am I living my life for myself? You know, what fulfillment am I getting out of, you know, the way that I move through life? I think that's just, you know, I just sit down and just think about that and dwell on that. I might not even do nothing the whole day, just be sitting there just thinking all day, you know, be in my thoughts. And you know, I just think it's important, and you know, I like taking time for myself and just really thinking about what it is I want to do and just trying new things. You know, like I said, you just never know what opportunity you'll get and whether or not it's for you or not. So
Yeah.
I love it.
Bro, that's so real, bro. And it's like, man, like the other night, bro, I was just thinking about like how like I've progressed like in like editing, bro, like recording videos and just editing them joints, adding little effects and this and that, adding music here and there type shit. I'm like, damn, bro, I've really gotten better at this. Cause like at first I wasn't even entertaining the thought of doing it, you know? Like seeing like the progress I've made in like 3-4 months, like shit, like it's dope. And it just makes me look forward to seeing like what I'm gonna learn in the next year or so, you know?
Right.
That's bro, it's amazing, bro. Cause I really like, bro, like I feel like people like us, like we really want to be the best versions of ourselves so much, and like when we don't, and if we can't see that growth, we like, damn, what are we doing? You know? And like sometimes like that really be hitting. I be thinking like, all right, what I be intentionally trying to be like, all right, what am I gonna do today that's gonna help me grow? You know? And it's just like just being intentional about things like that, bro. Like, yeah. Oh yeah,
I like that.
yeah. And it's like, bro, like when you were saying about like you being stubborn, bro. Sometimes I think about like how like at times being stubborn is like a thing that helps you grow as a person too. You know?
Yeah. For me
Just imagine
personally,
if you was just willing to accept like, oh, okay, I'll do like this. You're damn near be okay with being average. You know, oh, it's cool. But it's like us being stubborn, like, no, you can't. We can't do it this way because they won't allow us to grow. You know.
and you know what's funny? Like I said, I like being stubborn. For me, necessarily isn't a bad thing. What I think what it boils down to is just that I don't necessarily, I guess I don't bend to everybody's will. You know.
Yeah.
For example, like my mom was telling me, especially in high school, how to move a certain way, what I should do in my life, what direction I should take. And things, and not even just her, but like a lot of people in my family circle were telling me how to do things. And there was only one person in particular, my uncle, was telling me, you know, figure out what you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Just be smart about it, do your research, do what you want to do. And I was like, everybody else telling me what to do, and it was something always in me telling me like, man, that sounds nice, but I really don't want to do that. I'm not really feeling that. I mean, I don't really see myself doing that long term. But hey, like I told you before, like I thought it was I was looked at as a golden child in my family. Like I couldn't do nothing wrong. You know, I always did what, you know, people expected me to do. You know, instead of doing what I wanted to do. And when my uncle told me that, I said, man, that's all I needed. And me, it was a lot of fights, a lot of arguments with my mom, uncles, and uncles. Just like, man, like I was just stubborn. Like I knew what I wanted to do now, or at least I had an idea of what direction I want to go. Yeah, and I took the direction I wanted to go, and I gotta say, I'm happy that I went the route that I did. You know, I have no regrets. I might have done some things differently, but for the most part, I'm glad I'm taking the direction I'm taking.
Yeah, and like it's always great to have those people in your life that's gonna push you. Not trying to push you in any certain direction, but just want you to be the best you. You know, they don't care like if you play football, if you play soccer. You know, if you're a scholar and this and that, like just be the best version or whatever you want to be. You know?
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah, I was never mad at my mom, my uncles, and aunties. So I just knew at the end of the day, they just wanted me to do what's best for me, or at least what they thought was best for me. But at the end of the day, only an individual knows what's best for them. You know, you just have an idea. of what might be good for the person. But you, at the end of the day, you might not necessarily know what's best for them, you know. So that's just how I thought about it.
That's facts, man. That's so true, man. That's so true, bro. Bro, let's share some more gems, bro. Cause like the stuff you saying, bro, it's just like really just hitting, bro.
Let me see how I'm doing all the time. Let's see. What's something I want to tell the people before I head out? I would say my last message. I want to say that people should start taking time, take at least a day out the week, and just sit in silence. Not necessarily the whole day, but just take a moment and sit in silence and really reflect on your life and things that you want to do, things you want to accomplish. Whether that be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, the whole day. It doesn't matter. Just take time and really think about you as a person, things you want to do, where you want to grow. Like I said, think of you as a my player or avatar. Like build your avatar. You know, what attributes you want to have, and start building those things, and you will set yourself up in the right direction and where you want to be in life. If you just take time and just reflect and try to grow in those moments.
Okay. Hey, and that's how we closing it out, man. That's it from the latest episode. Checking in with Brando, bro, Lamelvin. I really appreciate you for coming on. We always have a great combo. So thank you, man.
On me. I appreciate you having me, man. It was a good talk.
Yes, sir. No problem, my guy.